Join the club. The segment of the show where we listen to people who are from clubs and communities that have some kind of link to Korea. And this week we've got Jankura Art Space in focus, and we're going to be speaking with Mike Stewart, the owner/director of this art space. Good morning, Mike.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, Mike. Before we get into details, could you introduce yourself first and then a little bit about Jankura?
Sure. My name's Mike Stewart. I am an artist originally from the United States. And I've been in Korea for about 14 years now.
Wow. So what brought you here in the first place?
Just originally came over teaching English, doing the kind of ESL job thing.
Yeah. And then what got you into this role as the owner and director of Jankura Art Space?
I kind of moved over into teaching art. After a couple of years, I was invited to work at some Korean art academies, and did that for a little while, and then decided to go ahead and create my own space that could be a little bit more unique, teaching the kind of classes that I was more interested in focusing on.
Fantastic. So then give us a little background into Jankura Art Space. What inspired it exactly, where it is, and things like that.
Okay. Well, Jankura Art Space is a studio for artists to come and work on their own personal artwork, but then we also have classes and workshops in drawing and painting and a lot of other kinds of art making. We also have figure drawing sessions where people come and draw or paint using a real model will be sitting on the stage for them to study the figure from.
And there's someone there to guide them and give them some tips?
Sure. There's a lot of instructed classes and workshops with teaching going on where you can really learn how to handle a pencil or a piece of charcoal. And then there's also the sort of open style session, which is more of where people just drop in and try practicing using the model. That's more of a casual arrangement where you can get help if you want to, but mostly people are just working independently.
Oh, that sounds great for people, who maybe feel they're at a certain level. But for an amateur like me, amateurs welcome people who know next to nothing about art and how to hold a pencil.
Yeah, we get a lot of beginners who show up for either the instructed classes who want to learn how to look at an apple on the table and how to put it on a piece of paper. And then we even have beginners who show up for the figure drawing sessions all the time, and they start off with drawing a stick figure, and they say they can't draw a straight line. But after practicing and coming a few times and taking a few tips from the people around, they slowly improve over time. And some people have, incredible improvement, actually.
Wow.
So it's just about kind of not being very shy and just giving it a try.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like it would be me. I tried art at school for a long time and never got any better. When did you found then Jankura Art Space?
We opened in 2012, and around 2011 started working out plans for it, and wanted to create a place that was sort of welcoming for anybody who with some sort of English speaking abilities or even limited English-speaking abilities and even limited art abilities could come. A lot of the Korean or most of the Korean art academies don't seem to have much, in the way of English language instruction. So we're kind of filling that little niche there.
Yeah, I'm sure there are many English speakers in the country who are keen on art. So whereabouts are you located?
We're in a place called Bogwangdong, but it's basically right next to Itaewon. It's a few minutes away from Itaewon Station, down the kind of Antique Road area in Itaewon.
Oh,
so
yes,
a little bit
opposite the hotel.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. And you've been in the same space for the past 5 years?
Right, yes.
Oh, great. So easy for people to get to as well. So what type of people do participate in your programs? You said it's mainly English speakers, but I'm assuming there's lots of Koreans who maybe want to also practice their English skills as well as art who might come along.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, originally it was kind of to help out, the general English speaking environment, but these days it's completely mixed. Tons of Koreans are joining, and there's people from really all over the world. I mean, some people come to travel through Korea, and they'll only be in town for about a week, but they'll still drop by for a class with us. So
Wow.
we've had people from all over the world visiting and coming regularly, or just like I said, the one-day drop-ins.
Oh, that's
So
brilliant.
you don't really need to speak English to follow along and see what somebody does and kind of copy the style and technique. It's a very physical, visual kind of thing to learn how to draw.
So it's totally fine to just drop in for one class or go for several as a session or something like that. Either is fine.
Right. That was another one of the reasons that I made this place. It seemed like the Korean academies that I was working at, they had more of a 3 month or 6 month enrollment process, and
Yes.
we have a lot of more of like one-day drop-in classes for people with like a busier or more random schedule.
No, that sounds very convenient as well for people to also test if they're going to like it and things like that.
Yes,
Whereas,
exactly.
like you said, a lot of the Korean places, not just art institutes, but many of the institutes, have a minimum term, right? So,
Right.
which classes are especially popular, and what has been the response and feedback from people who've dropped in?
I guess the most popular one is our when we have a sort of special figure drawing event where we have models dressed in some kinds of interesting costumes.
Okay.
So they'll be wearing some unique costumes, and we'll have a bit of a theatrical style to the event, and they'll be performing on the stage, and then they freeze frame and everyone draws. Those are always a big hit. We also have kind of pop art painting classes where people can come and make their own self portrait, and those are pretty popular with a lot of people.
So, do you need to book in advance? Is there like a limit on the number of participants or anything?
Some of the classes need booking in advance. Like we have a Bob Ross painting party coming up. It's an oil painting class, so because the supplies are somewhat uh, complicated to organize and it takes up a lot of space, that kind of class, an oil painting workshop, needs pre-registration. But a lot of the other classes, it's fine to just sort of show up.
Fantastic. And in that case, when it isn't fine to show up, do you need to bring any equipment with you, or is it all provided by the art space?
We've got everything already there at the art space. People can bring their own sketchbooks and drawing tools, of course, if they want to,
Hmm.
for the figure drawing kind of events. But we do have stuff on hand. We actually have like sketchbooks for sale and paper, and then all the tools are always free to use by anybody. And then if it's a kind of workshop, then everything's always included in the workshop.
Okay, that's great for people who are dropping by casually, I suppose. Then
Right.
when usually are your classes held? Is it on the weekends or after work or even during the daytime?
Most of the classes are on the weekends, starting on Friday night, and then uh, throughout the day, Saturday and Sunday. And then we have kind of private art classes or private lessons that people can register for during the week. Like weekday afternoons, I have kind of more like one-on-one or small groups coming in for individual instruction in drawing and painting.
Okay, so a wide range of times and different styles of classes. So,
Right.
what are the registration or participation fees like? What kind of ballpark are we talking, Mike?
Um, for the figure drawing session, where there's not really any much instruction, those are only 10,000 won.
Okay.
Um,
And how
and
long do they
then
last?
2 hours,
2 hours.
and then if there's an instructed class, they start at about 20,000 won, and depending on the level of materials, for instance, oil painting is around 40,000 or 50,000 won because it's quite an expensive bunch of materials that are needed for it, and the instruction is a little bit more tedious.
Sure, sure. Okay. And then you've been running this now for 5 years. There must have been
Right.
some memorable incidents or maybe difficult incidents. Can you recall anything like that, Mike?
Um, I've really enjoyed when we've had like field trips come to the studio. We'll have classes. Last year we had a group from Hong Kong come to visit, and
Wow, a whole group.
another group from Thailand that came, and they did like a 2 week residency program at our studio.
Nice.
And so it's kind of nice to see the studio being used as a kind of summer camp art location for people. And
Yeah.
recently had a group of Girl Scouts come in and take like a 1 day pastel drawing class to get so they can accomplish their drawing badge. I don't know if
Oh,
you know that Girl
fantastic.
Scouts get the little badges,
Yes, yeah,
Right,
sure. And that helps them to do it in a new environment. Also, English speaking as well.
right.
That's brilliant. It seems pretty unique then, I guess, in Seoul at least.
Yeah, I
So
think if you Google art classes in Seoul, you'll probably find us pretty easily because we've kind of got this little tiny niche here that we're helping people survive in.
Yeah, sure. I mean, what is the main way to get in touch then? Is there a social media page or a website?
We do have a website, which is just jankuraseoul.com, and we also have a Facebook page, and we're also on Twitter and Instagram. So pretty easy to find, and the name is a little bit unique, so it kind of stands out.
Yeah, Jankura, that's Jankura, soul.com.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fantastic, Mike. So, are there any upcoming events or special plans in the near future?
Towards the end of this month, we've got bookmaking workshop. People can come and learn how to kind of hand bind their own sketchbooks or journals. We have wood panel like portrait painting classes and outdoor painting classes. We have a special pin-up drawing session where the model will be kind of in the 1950s pin-up costume, which is kind of a lot of fun.
It seems like a diverse range of events that you've got planned even for just this month, Mike. Fantastic.
That's kind of what we do. We try to have like a real wild, unique variety of things so that everyone can find something they're interested in.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. So any of our listeners, go to the website and you check out the schedule, I guess, is posted up there as well.
Right.
And then ways to get involved. Fantastic, Mike. If you'd like just to say a few words to any of our listeners, many of whom visit Korea from time to time, some of them live here as well, to draw them into art if they're perhaps like me, not very art savvy.
Yeah, I usually say, if you're looking to try something new and, explore creatively, or if you'd like to really learn the technical art drawing skills or painting skills, I always tell people, don't be shy. Come on in, pick up a pencil, pull up an easel and a chair, and, give it a try.
Yeah, what's the worst that could happen after all, yeah?
Exactly.
Mike, thank you so much for talking with us this morning, and good luck to Jankura in the future.
Thank you very much.